Hello and welcome to One Trinity Place in San Antonio, Texas, as we're all set to renew an old SCAC rivalry between Texas Lutheran and Trinity. Hello everybody, I'm Cole Isaacson here with Tiger Network as we'll get set to watch TLU and Trinity. First we'll set the Texas Lutheran lineup, leading off with Chase Bourgeois at shortstop, followed by Michael Barrera. Braden Sprenzel at third base, Peavy at first base, having quite the season, followed by Cole Cravens at catcher, Cooper Jen at second base, Caden Hall, the designated hitter position, followed by Caleb Small and Aiden Spires to round things out in center field. And on the mound for the Tigers will be Tate Johnson, making his third appearance and second start of the year. Johnson, in his last outing, pitched 5 innings against Muhlenberg, allowed 5 hits, no earned runs, struck out 6, and he earns himself another midweek start. Trinity playing their 4th game in 4 days, coming off of a series loss to Tufts University. Losing that series 2-1, now playing against TLU, an old SCAC rival. Familiar face in an unfamiliar situation as a non-conference opponent. Chase Bourgeois will lead things off for Texas Lutheran. First pitch, and we're underway with a strike. Bourgeois so far this season hitting .321. This is his 20th game starting. Takes ball 1, evens the count at 1-1. Johnson will have to navigate this lineup that the big part of the reason why the Bulldogs are ranked 11th in the country according to the most recent poll. Pitch inside, 2-1. Bourgeois hitting leadoff once again for TLU, as he does most of the time, has for the majority of this season. 2-1. Grounded to third. Lustina able to field it, makes the throw in time, 1 down. 5-3 on the putout to get this game going. Tate Johnson able to handle the leadoff man, and now it'll be Michael Barrera. Barrera, a .312 hitter on the year so far. This also his 20th game played. You'll see a lineup very consistent for TLU across the season as a whole. Don't make a lot of changes, maybe the order of some guys, but overall the guys in there are going to be pretty consistent. Barrera takes a strike here. A 1. Hit in the air, shallow center field. Singhania coming in on the Trinity logo and makes the catch for out number 2. Johnson gets the first 2 batters he faces. And now he'll face the heart of this TLU lineup, number 3 hitter Braden Sprenzel. Playing at third base today, a .333 hitter on the year in his 18th game started. 20 runs batted in so far this year. 15 scored himself. Grounds one sharply to Ramsey, who fields it on a couple of hops. Low throw, and it gets away from Baker. So Trinity, coming off of a game where they committed 4 errors in a 10-2 loss to Tufts, commits their first one in the first inning. Ramsey able to field it just fine, getting his start at shortstop. Just unable to make the throw. Baker tried his best to pick it, just unable to. And it brings up the last guy the Tigers want to see with somebody on, Adam Peavy, hitting .477 on the year. See, 18 runs batted in, 27 runs himself. Just outstanding numbers for TLU offensively so far this year. Johnson throws a strike, 0-1. The 0-1 with the runner on first, 2 down. This one is ripped into left field, but the catch is made by Susha, who waits for it. So Johnson has to work around the error, but ultimately throws a scoreless first. It sends us to the bottom of the frame in San Antonio. Still 0-0. Welcome back to the campus of Trinity University. Temperature in the mid-60s here in the first inning. So we'll set the Tigers starting lineup. Thomas Moss will lead things off from the catcher position, followed by Callan Singhania out in center field once again. Will Baker hitting third at first base as he usually is, followed by Lustina, who gets a promotion today. Sawyer Haynes at second, Anthony Susha out in left. John Ramsey getting the start at shortstop with Pierce Matthews in right. And Cal Coney rounding things out as the designated hitter. And on the mound for TLU will be Carson Hughes, making his third appearance of the season, first start of the year. ERA a little high at 13.5, but an opportunity to lower that here in this appearance. That ERA earned through only an inning and a third pitch through 2 appearances. He's allowed 5 runs, only 2 of them earned. Trying to rebound from his past appearances and throw a gem against an old SCAC rival. Still a team that's ranked number 16 in the country, even if they've fallen from their perch as the number 1 team earlier. Tigers team that's been struggling recently, currently at 8-7 on the year. Back-to-back weekend series losses. Trying to rebound here against a familiar foe. Thomas Moss ready to step in for Trinity, the leadoff hitter in today's game. Bit of a change in that position. Usually it's whoever's playing center field, whether that's Caleb Woodward or Callan Singhania, but Moss with his .250 average gets it today. Takes a strike. Moss making his 5th start of the year and his 8th appearance. Waits for the 0-1. Pitch high, 1-1. Tigers offense that's just looking to get going, hoping for a better start today than what they had yesterday. Held hitless for the first 4 innings in Game 3 against Tufts. Takes a pitch outside, a 2-1 hitter's count. We're able to collect their first, second, and third hits of the game, all in the 5th inning. Down 2-0 at the time, able to rally, tie that game at 2. Things were looking good, but then they left the bases loaded in the 6th, and it all went downhill from there as this one stroked out to center field. Spires going back all the way to the wall, and it falls in front of it at the warning track. Moss sliding into second base safely. It's a leadoff double. So Thomas Moss getting the leadoff spot today, gives that pitch a ride. And the Tigers have a much shorter wait today for their first hit of the game. Wall ball double puts him in second with nobody out. And it'll bring up Callan Singhania, who hit second today. Singhania, a .225 hitter on the year with 6 runs batted in. Working with the runner on second and Moss. The pitch from Hughes. Misses, ball 1. Wind blowing directly out to center field as of now, though not gusting as much as it has in the past couple of days. And not gusting as much as it usually does, quite frankly, at this ballpark. 1-0. Big cut and a miss from Singhania. Tigers would love to play with the lead. Gave up the first run in all 3 games against Tufts. We're able to tie the game, as I mentioned, in the middle innings at 2, but then final 3 innings of the game really got away from him, ultimately lost 10-2. Pitch misses. Count 2-1. Team that would just love to get to a better start. Happened the last time these 2 teams played in Seguin. Of course, this is the return visit for TLU after that first game. Pitch misses, 3-1. Tigers were ranked number 1 in the country at the time. TLU just sneaking into the rankings at 25, but they've surged since then. Won that game 10-8. Game they led 10-6. Tigers tried to make a comeback, just couldn't in those final innings. Swing and a miss, and the count runs full on Singhania. As the wind shifts a little bit, starts to blow in from right field. Swirling around a little bit today. But again, the gusts not as high. We'll see if those ratchet up a little bit as the evening continues. Swing and a miss from Singhania, and he's down for out number 1. First strikeout of the game for Hughes. Chases the pitch outside, and it brings up Will Baker. Baker, the leading RBI man still for Trinity. 12 on the season, a .352 average. But you see the differences in where these two offenses are operating so far this year. They try the back pick. Moss able to get back safely. Saw Sprenzel up in the first inning for TLU, has 20 runs batted in. Meanwhile, Baker leads his team with just 12. Waits to see the first pitch. And takes a strike. That RBI difference in those leaders, big reason why TLU comes into this game surging at 16-3, and why Trinity's just hovering above 500 at 8-7. Try the back pick again. Moss has to slide back. Texas Lutheran in their all black uniforms today with gold numbers, and Trinity rocking the light blue jerseys that they just got last season. Pitch misses high, 1 ball, 1 strike. Tigers looking to get their second win of the year in those uniforms. Haven't had a lot of luck in them. First win came against Kane a couple of weeks ago. Outside of that, they'd struggled. Not the case last year. Won a regional and a SCAC championship in those uniforms. As Baker rips this one to right field, and it falls. Moss had to hold up, so he'll stay at third. Wanted to make sure that got down. It puts runners at the corners with 1 away. Will Baker just able to get that above Jen, who backed up and for a second looked like he had a chance, but that ball just way too high for him. And it brings up Trinity's arguably one of their most dangerous hitters as of late, Michael Lustina. 304 hitter on the year. Struggling in the first couple of weekends, believe it or not, but that average up to a healthy 300 number. Works with 1 away, runners at the corners. Takes a breaking ball, ball 1. Trinity already with 2 hits in this inning. Again, mentioned how it was hard for them to get hits and base runners in general early in that game against Tufts. Didn't have a base runner in their first 3 innings. Ben's in the zone, strike called. 1-1. Moss, the leadoff man, waiting on third. Baker waits on first. His top 16 matchup, according to Division3Baseball.com. Bulldogs 11th ranked, Tigers at 16. And it looks like a pitch clock violation has been charged by the field umpire. See if that updates the count or not, and it does. A ball has been added, so 2-1 is the count to Lustina. Strike called on the slider. So it evens the count, 2-2. One of those balls coming from the pitch clock violation. Of course, a memorable pitch clock violation in Trinity history, coming just 4 years ago. Jack Martinez getting a pitch clock strikeout with the bases loaded in a regional at ETBU. Lustina pops this one sky high onto the roof of the Bell Center. Let's see what it has. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pretty standard. Lustina in the 2-2, but not yet. Baker able to get back safely. See if the Tigers try any shenanigans with runners at the corners. They've been known to do it in the past. Try and get the runner at first and do a rundown and sneak the run in from third. 2-2 with 1 down. Justina pops this one up and onto the roof. Second hop, third, didn't have a lot. Probably the closest ball that's been to our exposed setup up here. Didn't come in very hard, so it wasn't very frightening, but able to clear the screen. Still a 2-2. Popped up again. This time it might be playable. Sprenzel calling for it and makes the catch in foul ground for out number 2. So a long, dragged out at bat by Michael Lustina ends in a pop out. An uneventful out, but still the second one that TLU needs to get out of this inning. And it brings up Sawyer Haynes. Haynes has been getting a lot of time at second base. Did enough to earn that spot early in the year and hasn't relinquished it so far. Takes a strike. Haynes so far this season, a .263 hitter. This is 6 start, all of those at second base. Last chance for the Tigers to take the lead in the first with runners at the corners. Ball in the dirt, gets away from Cravens, but Moss will stay at third. Baker advancing to second on the wild pitch, though. So the first wild pitch for Hughes allows Baker to get to second. Didn't get away from Cravens enough, just kind of snuck away slowly. Not one of those quick developing ones, so Moss couldn't take home and score the run. Runners on second and third now. The 1-1 is hit deep into the air to left field, going back at the wall to Trinity and beyond. Sawyer Haynes leaves the building. A 3-run shot, and it's 3-0 early. Let's see it again. Breaking ball, and he did not miss. Barrera did his best trying to leap the wall and time it up. Nothing he could do about that one. And a refreshing, fast start for Trinity. Something they've been waiting for. First pitch to Susha, fouled into the screen, getting the start in left field today. A .250 hitter on the year. Mentioned this most of the time that he enters the game, a catcher by trade. Saw him make a pretty nice play in right field yesterday. Getting a try at each corner in the outfield. Take strike 2. Nobody on, 2 down, thanks to the 2-run shot, or excuse me, 3-run shot with 2 down for Sawyer Haynes. Tapped foul, got him on the hands. Count remains 0-2. Pitch outside. Tigers finding offense here, something that they really struggled to do against Tufts outside of that 4-run bottom of the 9th inning in the game that they lost 24-9. Swing and a miss, foul tip, and it's strike 3. It ends the inning, but not before Sawyer Haynes puts the Tigers up with an exclamation point. A 3-run homer. Trinity up 3 as we head to the second. Welcome back to San Antonio, Texas. Sunny in the mid-60s. As we head into the second inning, Tate Johnson still on the mound. He'll face Cole Cravens, over a 300 hitter this year. Takes a strike. Cravens in at catcher today, making his 17th start of the year, 18th appearance. His team down 3-0 after the home run from Sawyer Haynes in the first. Takes a ball low, 1-1. Of course, Texas Lutheran shouldn't be fazed by this 3-0 deficit. They score bunches of runs. Currently at 16-3, number 11 in the country. Strike two. TLU coming off of a sweep against the Ozarks out in Arkansas. Scored at least 8 runs in every single game. 1-2. This is lined out on the right field. It gets down for a base hit. First hit of the day for Texas Lutheran. Leadoff man aboard. So TLU not having to wait long either to get their first hit of the day. Comes in the top of the second with nobody out. And it'll bring up Cooper Jen. Jen making another start at second base. His 18th of the season. Takes a ball. Jen over a 300 hitter with 18 runs batted in. Texas Lutheran has multiple guys on this team with more than 12 runs batted in, which is what Will Baker has to lead Trinity. Johnson steps off for a second, 1-0 count. Tigers team that's just trying to find itself right now, but optimistic about today. It's one of the constant things that you've heard when, despite the thrashings that Tufts gave Trinity in that series victory, is that the energy hasn't really died down that much, maybe a little inconsistent at times, but still ultimately this group comes to the ballpark with a positive mindset. Johnson falls behind, 2 balls, no strikes. There's some stirring in the Trinity bullpen, so we'll see how long they expect Tate Johnson to go. Swinging a foul ball off the bat of Jen, 2-1. Johnson going 5 innings in his last start. Only his second appearance of the season. Talking to Trinity pitching coach Dave Smith before the year. Always says that there's a surprise. Maybe Johnson is it this year. Checks on the runner at first and Cravens, who gets back safely. Said that maybe this is the year where everything will unfold as expected, but says with as many years as he's been doing this, it's unlikely. Hasn't had one yet. Pitch misses, and it's 3-1. Dave Smith going into his 26th season now. Pitched at Trinity in the late 90s and early 2000s. Top 10 in starts and innings pitched for the Tigers. Pitch misses outside, and it's ball 4. So the first 2 reach for TLU in the inning. Jen with the walk, Cravens with the base hit. They're on first and second respectively, and now it'll be Caden Hall. A .433 hitter and some limited action so far this year. This is 8th appearance. It's definitely made an impact when he's in there. Squares up to bunt, and he went around for strike 1. Hall slugging at .600 when he's in the lineup. Getting the start at the designated hitter role today. Bunting again. This one popped up all the way into the screen. So Hall unable to get his first 2 bunt bids down, and now presumably bunting will be out of the question with 2 strikes. Hall down 0-2 to Johnson. Was yet to get a batter in this inning. The only to his face, currently waiting on base. Runners on first and second. inside, ball one. Tried to get in the chase with that one. No strikeouts yet for Tate Johnson after he struck out 6 in his last outing against Muhlenberg, a midweek game like this one. Misses low that time again. See where this was. Ooh, just low. Doesn't get the call. And the count is even at 2-2. Misses again with the breaking ball, and it runs full. Johnson unable to find the zone in 3 consecutive pitches after Hall wasn't able to get a bunt down in the first 2. Now with 3-2. Low, ball 4, and back-to-back walks will load the bases with nobody out. Bases filled with Bulldogs, an opportunity to tie this game early. As Caleb Small will come up to the plate. Small hitting 8th today, but his average anything but. 406 on the year with 18 runs batted in, 2 homers as well. Bases loaded. First pitch is hit into right field, but popped up. And the catch made by Haynes, ranging over towards the first base line. 1 down. So an uneventful first at bat with the bases loaded. Brings up Spires, the 9-hole hitter. Aiden Spires, a .321 average on the year. OPS at 900, as is the case with so many of these Bulldogs hitters. 1 down. Cuts and misses at the first pitch. Cravens waits on third, Jen on second, and Hall on first. Base hit, a walk, and another walk to start this inning against Tate Johnson. 0-1 misses, evens the count. Johnson trying to wiggle his way out of this jam with a 3-0 lead. Popped up into the air, out of play above the screen. And above the roof as well, no hops. One and 2. The pitch from Johnson. Grounded to first, could be 2. Baker steps on the bag and throws to second late. So they get 1 and the run scores from third. It's 3-1. Some indecision from Baker, not quite sure where to go with that one. Thought about taking the force at home. Initially looked there, didn't like it, and then softly throws to second. So an RBI groundout gets TLU their first run, flips the lineup over for Chase Bourgeois. Takes ball 1, 0 for 1 today with a ground out to third. Works with the bases loaded and 2 down. The 1-0. Strike called. TLU with runners on second and third now, after Johnson was able to get out number 2. This is hit in the air to right field. And the catch is made by Matthews, and that will end the inning. So TLU has the bases loaded, nobody out, only gets 1 run. Takes us to the bottom of the second in San Antonio. You're watching Tiger Network. Welcome back to the Alamo City as the sun continues to set. A 6 p.m. local time first pitch. So it'll be light for the first part of this game, but eventually the lights will take full effect. As John Ramsey leads off the inning, hitting 7th today, starting at shortstop, a .357 hitter on the year. OPS over 1,000. Rips one into left field immediately on the first pitch, a base hit. Ramsey thinking about going for 2, but will be content with a leadoff single to get the second inning going. So Ramsey cranking that average a little bit higher than it already was. Now the 8th hitter, Pierce Matthews, comes up to the plate, starting in right field today. Matthews hitting at exactly 200 on the year, getting a little more playing time as the season's gone along. Ramsey has to dive back, does so safely as they check on him at first. Pierce Matthews making his 13th appearance of the season, his 5th start. First pitch to him, pulls back a bunt for strike 1. Matthews got some action in game 3 of the series against Tufts, yesterday's game. A Monday nighter, Trinity lost 10-2. So far rebounding from that game. That series overall, which was quite the rough one. Hasn't been a stretch here at this ballpark where the Tigers have given up that many runs in 2 games. Give up 34 runs. Last one I can think of was the first 2 games against Wisconsin Whitewater, as Matthews fouls this one out of play. Count 0-2. Not the first 2 games against Whitewater this year to open the season, but 2 years ago when they played him in the second weekend. Gave up 21 runs just in the second game alone. Lost that game 21-2. They'd actually split the series. Pitch misses inside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Lost game 1. I believe that was a score of 14-3 on a Thursday night, and then start to Friday's doubleheader was even worse somehow. And then it was Joseph Shavana and Jackson Tier on the mound, and they took care of the rest. Pierce Matthews actually had a grand slam in game 3 of that series, gave the Tigers the lead for the first time all series. And then it was the Jackson Tier 20 strikeout game in game 4. Check on Ramsey again, dives back safely again. Hughes doing his best to control the run game out there. Ramsey so far this season 2 for 3 in stolen base attempts. They're very worried about him as they go again. Matthews waiting for the 1-2. Sees it now in a tie. Long time to wait for a pitch and an at-bat. 3 consecutive throws over to first, but eventually Matthews sees it and it's a ball. Count even at 2-2. 1 on, nobody out. Trinity up 3-1. They check on Ramsey again at first. A strategy that they used against Trinity successfully in the last game they played against them. Were able to get Michael Lustina napping on the base paths. 2-2. High, ball 3. And Matthews has battled all the way back from an 0-2 count. Check on Ramsey again. Lost count, but I think that's the 6th time they've done that. They do not want him going anywhere on this 3-2 pitch. We'll see if he advances to second by way of the walk here. Matthews waiting for the 3-2. Ramsey bluffs like he's going that time, but gets second anyways. A base hit and then a walk to start this inning for Trinity. Brings up the DH, Calfani Coney. This is the second time in a 7-day span Coney hitting at the designated hitter position. .235 hitter on the year. Coney hitting his first home run and only home run to this point of the season against Muhlenberg in that midweek game. Tigers won at 5-1. He had 2 RBIs in that game. Ball gets away from Cravens for a second, but not enough for any advancement. Pitch misses for ball 1. Ramsey waiting on second, Matthews waiting on first. Tigers are already with 3 runs in that first inning. Trying to add on here. Coney squares up again, runner going to third, and nothing anybody can do about it. Matthews steals second as well, a double steal pulled off by Trinity. Done so much work to keep Ramsey where it is. Look at the jump he gets here. He's halfway there before the pitch is even thrown. As the runners had the timing nailed on Hughes. Now a full infield meeting along with the battery gives us an actual opportunity to set the defense for TLU in this game. Left to right in the outfield will be Barrera, Spires, and Small, and then left to right in the infield from third to first is Sprenzel, Bourgeois, Jen, and Peavy, with the battery of Hughes and Cravens. They all break out to their respective positions. Runners on second and third now after the double steal, nobody out. Coney still at the plate, ahead 2 balls, no strikes. Wind with a steady breeze out to center field. See if Coney can give a ball a ride. Base hit was also do the job. 2-0, Coney hits one in the air, deep to left field. How far will he send this one to Trinity and beyond? Cal Coney's second homer of the year, and it was very gone. Above the camera, all the way to the cars. He got every stitch of that baseball. A 3-run homer has put the Tigers up 6-1. Still nobody out in the second. Flips the order over. Thomas Moss, 1 for 1 with a double. Takes a strike. 1 3-run homer in each inning for Trinity. Sawyer Haynes and Cal Coney, both of the usual second basemen who rotate at that spot, able to leave the yard. Pitch misses upstairs. 1-1. Time called. Looks like we're subbing baseballs. That one's no good. Get it out of here. Tigers out hitting TLU early in this one, 5-1. Have scored 3 runs before recording an out in the second. 1-1 to Moss. Similar spot as that last pitch. Again, no good. Now a 2-1 count. Wind picking up a little bit as expected as the sun continues to go down. 2-1 to Moss. Fouls it into the screen. Count even, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Tigers, you would imagine, almost treating this like a fresh inning. Nobody out, the leadoff man up. Only difference is they have 3 runs. Pitch misses upstairs, and the count runs full. 3-2. Nobody out, nobody on. Every batter has reached so far in this inning for Trinity. High ball 4, and Moss joins his first 3 teammates by reaching. First 4 have reached in the inning. Second walk of the inning handed out by Hughes, and it brings up Callan Singhania. 0 for 1 with a strikeout today. One of 2 strikeouts that Hughes has so far. Singhania takes a strike. Working with a little bit of repairs on his chin. See the white patch, the Band-Aid on it. Told this story yesterday, but might as well say it again for our TLU audience tuning in from Seguin. Was doing some bunt work and thinks that the machine may have gotten a stitch. Got him up and in. This could be a double play. Throw to first is not in time. Actually gets away from Peavy. They do get the out at second and Moss, so the leadoff man retired for out number 1. Singhania reaching on the fielder's choice. Busted chin and all. Brings up Baker 1 for 1 with a single. Singhania had that happen to him 2 days ago, right before first pitch in Game 2 against Tufts. Was originally supposed to start in that game, but obviously wasn't able to. Had to get some stitches right before. Actually ended up getting subbed in midway through that game. That was the game Trinity lost 24-9. About everybody played in that game. But good to go now on first base. First pitch to Baker, ground ball to second. Jen fields it and just underhand throws to first to take the easy out. Singhania able to advance to second with 2 down. And now it's Michael Lustina. Popped out, foul ground to his counterpart at third base. 0 for 1 today, a .298 hitter on the year. Getting the promotion to cleanup duty today. Takes a ball. Pitch too much up and in. Biggest gust we've seen so far today coming in from right field, as you might be able to hear in my microphone. The exposed setup we have on the roof of the Bell Center overlooking the field. A really nice view, no walls though. Singhania has to get back to second. Half-hearted throw that way. Hughes remaining out there has surrendered 6 runs through an inning and 2/3. Trying to finish the inning. Lustina hits a high fly ball, the left, and it won't even get that far. Bourgeois underneath of it. And that ends the inning. Not before the Tigers strike in a furious way. Cal Coney with the 3-run homer, giving Trinity a 6-1 lead. Takes us to the 3rd on Tiger Network. Welcome back to the campus of Trinity University. Tate Johnson back on the mound as he'll face Michael Barrera. 0-for-1 with a fly out to center field the last time he was up. Texas Lutheran down 6-1 already in this game here in the third inning. Barrera swings at the first pitch and fouls it off. Goes down to strike one, a .308 hitter on the year. Bulldogs know they're going to need at least 7 runs to win this game. Completely capable of that, as we mentioned in the last inning. Ball gets away. 1 ball, 1 strike now. Managed to put up 10 runs the last time they played Trinity earlier this year. Pitch just misses low. 2-1. Johnson working with a 5-run lead now after it gave up a hit and a run in the second inning. This is tapped. Lustina trying to make the throw, does it in time, and the scoop by Baker to get the out. That ball just dribbled on the infield grass. Lustina had to get to it quickly and make the throw, and he did. See the nice put out again. Just able to get it, and the scoop by Baker may have been even better. Leadoff man gone. Braden Sprenzel up. Takes the ball by his feet. Sprenzel hitting third today. 0-for-1. 20 runs batted in. 800 OPS. Bloops this one the other way, and it's going to fall in left field. Sprenzel digging in for second, and it looks like he's going to get there. A 1-out double standing up. Able to hit the ball the other way, just dunk it in over Lustina at third. Able to dig in for a double on that. First extra base hit of the day for the Bulldogs, and it brings up Adam Peavy, exactly who they would want in this situation with a runner in scoring position. Wind picks up a little bit here in San Antonio. Peavy hitting .470 on the year, 0-for-1 with a flyout. Breaking ball misses in the dirt. Johnson able to get the first batter he saw in this inning. Second one doubles, opposite field knock. Works with him on second. Strike called. Tigers already with 2 3-run homers in this game. But Peavy, a guy who's definitely capable of matching that, already with 2 homers himself this year. Pitch misses in the dirt. Johnson falling behind, 2-1. Peavy plunked. Gets hit with the 2-1 pitch, and he will head to first. First hit by pitch for Johnson today. See where this got him. Hits him on the upper arm. Probably one of the better places that Peavy could have gotten hit. A little more protection up there as opposed to the wrist. And it'll promote a visit from pitching coach Dave Smith, who heads out there wearing the same gray hoodie he's worn for every game he's been the pitching coach here, at least since I've been here the last 4 years. Talk to him about the hoodie and the wardrobe decisions as it gets hotter later in the year, because Trinity, before they got this turf field, didn't really host postseason baseball. They made it every year, but would always travel somewhere for a regional. Just didn't want to deal with the hassle with their all-grass field. Now they get the turf, they get to host things, and Coach Smith's saying he wasn't sure if he was going to go with the hoodie in the Super Regional last year when they hosted. was so hot here at the game, had to get pushed back. Was supposed to be played in the middle afternoon. The coach is here saying, no, we're not doing that. Get a 7 p.m. start, but still pretty hot. And Coach Smith rocking the same hoodie that he did for all the other games. Brings up Cole Cravens 1-for-1 with a base hit. Takes ball 1. Cravens 1 of 2 hits so far for TLU. 23 runs batted in this year. Looking to add another one with a base hit. Sprenzel waiting on second. And PV on first. This is grounded, and Ramsey able to field it, but flips the ball away. Baker backs it up and stops the run from scoring, but the bases are loaded as Trinity gets nobody. Great play by John Ramsey to make the stop. Tried to flip it to Haynes, just out of his reach. Would have had to reel it in with the bare hand, his glove on the other side. They have scored that as a base hit, so Craven's now 2 for 2, and it brings up Cooper Jen, another 300-plus hitter. Walked the first time he was up. And takes a strike. Bases loaded for the second consecutive inning for TLU. They were only able to get 1 run last time. It's the 1 run they have. The 0-1 misses inside. Bases filled with Bulldogs, the last 3 reaching. This is tapped to third. Lustina will make the throw home, and they get the force out there. The alertness from Michael Lustina, able to cut the run off. Bases still loaded, 2 down. So Lustina with the good defensive play at the hot corner, able to throw home. Bases still filled with Bulldogs, and it's Caden Hall, 433 hitter. Takes a pitch outside, and a really good stop by Moss. Able to prevent a run from scoring. Hall walked in his only plate appearance. Works with the bases loaded and 2 down. That pitch over the head of Hall. Has to duck out of the way of it. Pitch from Johnson in the dirt. Falling behind 3-0, in danger of walking in a run. Finds the zone, strike called. 2 down, bases still loaded. PV on third, Cravens on second, Jen waiting on first. Lined up the middle, a base hit. PV comes in to score. Here comes Cravens, 2 runs in for TLU. A 2 RBI single for Hall. And it's 6-3. Singhania tried to make the throw in to cut down the run, but Craven sliding in safely. Now runners at the corners, and we'll have a new arm on the mound. Coach Smith coming out to make the change. As Tate Johnson's day is done, pitches into the 3rd inning. We'll have a new arm on the mound when we come back. Welcome back to San Antonio, Texas. The new arm on the mound for the Tigers is Kyle Hoggett. Comes in with a balloon ERA of 18.9, but an opportunity to lower that here in this outing. His 5th of the season. Has thrown 3 1/3 innings. Comes in with 2 outs and runners at the corners. Faces Caleb Small, who squares up to bunt. Pulls it back, strike called. Small, a .400 hitter on the year, despite being 0 for 1 in today's game. The 0-1 in the dirt, evens the count. Cooper Jen waiting on third base. And Hall waiting on first. One and one. Ripped and caught by Haynes. The diving catch for Sawyer Haynes at second base saves a run and ends the inning. Tigers still hanging on to their 6-3 lead. We'll take a break on Tiger Network. Welcome back to the Alamo City as the sun continues to set here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. The man who ended the last inning will lead off this inning in Sawyer Haynes. Haynes, in his previous plate appearance, his only one of the day, hit a 3-run homer, and here it is again. Gave the Tigers a 3-0 lead at the time. Strike called. Sorry, the replay graphic went, so I thought we were showing it again, but either way, you saw it already. Gave the Tigers a 3-0 lead in the first. And he gets plunked here. So Haynes aboard with a hit by pitch and only the 2nd pitch he sees in the plate appearance. Leadoff man aboard for Trinity for the 3rd consecutive inning. And now it's Anthony Susha. 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Was the last out of the 1st inning. Works with the leadoff man aboard and a hit and run called. Haynes sprinting to second base. The throw not in time. Stolen base for Sawyer Haynes, the 2nd of the season for him. See the jump he got. Not a great one, but still able to beat it out. The throw on the wrong side of the bag. Graven's doing his best to get it there. The 0-1, not yet. Haynes able to step back safely. Susha now with an opportunity to maybe drive a run in. Tigers only out hitting TLU 5-4 so far. Yet they have the 6-3 lead on 2 3-run homers. One of them by Haynes, who waits on second base. This one hit in the air, but in the infield. Peavy calls off his pitcher and makes the catch for out number 1. One gone in the third. Brings up John Ramsey. 1 for 1 with a single, the lead off the second. He would come around to score. Ripped that ball into left field last time. Over a 370 hitter on the year because they try and get him at second base. Carson Hughes remaining out there for his 3rd inning of work. He's given up 6 runs so far, all of them earned. But still his coaching staff trusting him on the mound, trying to get through the 3rd. Slider can't quite bend into the zone. And it's ball 1 to Ramsey, deciding not to swing at the first pitch like he did last time. Resulted in a base hit last time for him. And it looks like we'll have a meeting, the second one with Hughes so far. See if this is just a chat or a change. Cravens coming out to talk along with what looks like head coach Kyle Palmer. So far, nobody coming in for the pen, so it looks like this is just a chat. And yeah, that would confirm it. Nobody there. Trying to get out of this situation in the 3rd inning with a runner on second base, 1 down. Has already surrendered 3 runs in each of the previous 2 innings, trying not to have a repeat of that. Gives him a pat on the back and we're good to go. Hughes remaining out there, and we know how Coach Palmer loves to stick with his starting pitchers. TLU starters routinely throwing complete games, particularly on the weekend. Calculus changes a little bit in the middle of the week. Of course, one of the most memorable situations being when it left Brendan Beard out there to throw a 161-pitch complete game here in San Antonio, game 1 of that series a couple of years ago. 1-0 to Ramsey is hit into left field again, and it's a base hit. Haynes coming home from 3rd. The throw is not on line, and he's safe. RBI hit for John Ramsey, and it's 7-3. Able to go down and get that pitch. Throw from Barrera just offline, and Haynes diving in safely. Ramsey now 2 for 2. He takes second on the throw to home. Should go down as a base hit ultimately. And now Pierce Matthews steps into the batter's box. Walked the first time he was up after falling behind 0-2. They try the pickoff play at second. Ramsey able to step back. You remember how much care they took last time when Ramsey was on the bases. Tried to get him at first 6 times. Ultimately headed to second after Matthews walked and then stole 3rd. Pitch outside. Count 1-0. Of course, when Ramsey stole 3rd, got quite the jump. Was about halfway there by the time the pitch was thrown. Hughes gets a strike on Matthews. 1-1. John Ramsey doesn't look like he's going anywhere yet, but that can change in a heartbeat. Gets his lead now. See how aggressive they want to be. Matthews fouls that pitch into the backstop. Down 1-2. Tigers already with a run in this 3rd inning after TLU scored 2 in the top of the frame. Being down 5 runs at one point, we're able to cut the deficit to 3, but Trinity has added 1 on. Now leading at 7-3. Breaking ball doesn't find the zone. Matthews wisely takes it and evens the count at 2-2. Shadows begin to stretch here in San Antonio. The sun reaching one of its lower points before we won't be able to see it anymore. Ramsey gets back to second. So for now, it'll be a tough sky for the right fielders in particular, looking directly into the sun. So that's small right now for TLU. If the ball's hit that way, make sure to keep that in mind. 2-2. Breaking ball misses again, and the count runs full. Brings up a countdown count. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Matthews hits it the other way and foul into the TLU bullpen. Hughes pitch count in the mid-50s right now. We'll see how much longer he has. Delivers a 3-2. High ball 4, and Matthews has walked for the second time today. 2 aboard with 1 down. And it brings up Cal Coney. Last time Cal Coney was up, that's what happened. 3-run homer. And we'll see if they let Hughes see him again or not. Nearly making a full second trip through the order, and it looks like he's done for the day. So the Bulldogs facing the man that burnt him the last time he was up with a 3-run homer. And they'll have a different arm face him when we come back on Tiger Network. Trinity up 7-3. Welcome back to the Alamo City. 2 runners on, 1 down for the new pitcher, Joe Hernandez, coming out of the bullpen. 2 appearances so far this season, 2 innings pitched, a 4.5 ERA, and he faces Cal Coney. Will make the throw to second to try and get Ramsey, who is already standing on the base. Coney hit his 2nd home run of the year. The last time he was up, his only plate appearance of the day. Opportunity to hit another 3-run bomb. Takes a ball low, and it's 1-0. Texas Lutheran opting to go with the lefty here in the 3rd inning. Hernandez nearly delivers, but instead throws to second again. Really worried about Ramsey over there. He's already stolen 3rd once today. His 3rd stolen base of the season. 1-0. Outside, 2-0. Took a long time to deliver that pitch. Don't have an actual clock here in San Antonio, but the umpires keeping it on their watch. You'd imagine that pitch was right up against it. Coney hits another high drive to deep left field. This one might be even further. A second 3-run bomb for Cal Coney and a third 3-run bomb for Trinity. 9-3. Got all of that one. Scored 9 runs on 3 different 3-run homers and another run in there to make it 10-3. Flips the lineup over. How about the power awakening that Trinity has seen today? 3 home runs, all of them 3-run shots. Not a team that hits a lot of home runs overall. Moss 1 for 1 with a double. He's also walked. Takes ball 2. So as it turns out, it doesn't really matter the pitcher. Cal Coney's just hitting 3-run home runs today. Moss gets out of the way of a pitch inside. Ahead 3-0. Going for his second walk of the day. And has it in 4 pitches. A board in the third. Still only 1 down. It brings up Callan Singhania 0 for 2 today. A strikeout, and he's reached on a fielder's choice. Wind continues to blow out to center field. Tigers hit 6 home runs all season coming into this game. Have already hit 3 in the first 3 innings. Check on Moss at first. An offense that seems to have found the on switch, maybe stumbling through the dark room for a little bit. 10 runs already. Breaking ball misses. 1-0 to Singhania. Fouled into the screen, 1-1. Tigers scoring their 10 runs only on 7 hits so far. Out hitting TLU just 7-4, but obviously leading the game 10-3. Trying to continue a 4-run third. Pitch high, a 2-1 hitters count. Returning the favor a little bit to TLU so far, who really got to Trinity's pitching in that midweek a couple of weeks ago. Second week of the year for Trinity. Singhania takes a ball, 3-1. I think TLU was already 8-1 before Trinity even played their first game. That's how Division III scheduling works sometimes. High ball 4. Back-to-back walks handed out by Hernandez. As he's allowed all 3 of his batters to reach so far, it brings up Will Baker. And we will get a meeting. Coach Kyle Palmer coming back out, and it looks like another arm's going to come out with them. A pitching change in San Antonio. Tigers with 4 runs in the third. Welcome back to the campus of Trinity University. New arm on the mound for TLU is Vlario Prado. Prado making his second appearance of the season, ERA in the double digits, has an opportunity to lower that. Not one appearance through an inning and 2/3. Gave up 5 hits, 2 earned runs. Faces Will Baker, who pops one up immediately, lands on the infield grass. Got to make the play. Throw to first in time. So Cooper Jen, a heads-up play at second base, able to get Baker. Both runners advancing. A very weirdly hit ball in on the hands. Fell just short, so Jen wasn't able to make the catch. And a very close play at first. Closer than it even looked live. Goes down as a little bit of unconventional 4-3 putout. But out number 2 nonetheless, as the 9th batter of the inning will come up to the plate, and Michael Lustina takes a ball. Lustina still looking for his first hit, has popped out both times he's been up, and you see the freeze frame there, maybe a missed call at first base. Looked like Baker beat it out. Not reviewable at this level. Lustina cuts and misses. Count evens 1-1. Of course, TLU fans looking at that thinking, finally, something going our way when Trinity's up to bat. Lustina rips this one to right field. Small ranging over and can't make the play. It hits the wall. Moss scores. Singhania right behind him. A 2-run double for Michael Lustina. As Trinity extends its lead, it's 12-3. Talked about how tough the sun is out there, but Small just looked like he wasn't able to get to that ball. Tough play to make out there in right, and Lustina, the man who's able to hit it out there. All 9 have batted, so now the man who led off the inning will come up to the plate. Sawyer Haynes takes a slider for a strike. Haynes 1 for 1 today. That was by way of the 3-run homer in the first. He's also been hit by a pitch that happened to lead off this inning. As the third continues with a runner on second in Lustina. 12-3 Trinity as Haynes rips one into center field. Lustina being waved around from second. He'll score. Trinity has a 10-run advantage in the third. Base hit for Sawyer Haynes. Able to get to that ball on the outside part of the plate. Nice line drive into center field, whatever hitting coach dreams of. Tigers now up 13-3. And Anthony Susha up to the plate. 0 for 2, struck out and popped out. Rips this one into the screen and foul for strike 1. Tigers have scored a touchdown in this inning, 7 runs after 2 field goals in the prior 2 innings. This is lined up the middle into center field. Haynes going from first to third, a 2-out base hit for Anthony Susha. Trinity keeps rolling with the bats. So Susha getting his first hit of the day. Back-to-back 2-out knocks for Trinity. Brings up John Ramsey. 2 for 2 day himself. Already has a base hit in this inning. Two hits, enough to raise his average on the year to 400. Works with runners at the corners. Strike called. Prado able to get the second out of this inning, but looking for the third. Has already given up a couple of base hits and a double. Ramsey taps it, barely foul. Strike two nonetheless. They try and throw to first, and now they got the runner in a rundown. Haynes trying to escape, and he does, and he scores! Sawyer Haynes is doing everything today. Somehow dodges the tag on his way home. A lot happening in this play. Let's see it. Susha originally gets in the rundown. Alertly, TLU tries to get Haynes. Throw to Cravens, who maybe a little too aggressive trying to make the tag. Haynes just barely staying enough on the baseline, and after all that, Susha also able to go to third base. The 14th run on the board for Trinity. An 11-run lead. Pitch misses to Ramsey, evens the count 2-2 with 2 down in the inning. Susha waiting on third. Tigers have plated 8 in the frame. Ground ball, Bourgeois, the sliding stop, trying to end the inning, but he can't. Ramsey beats it out, and it's an RBI infield single. 15-3 now. Ramsey just able to get it enough out of the reach of Bourgeois where he couldn't make the throw. He's 3 for 3 today with 3 base hits. And Pierce Matthews looking for his 3rd walk of the game. Has already walked twice today, once in this inning. Ramsey the runner on first. Pitch misses outside, ball 1. Comfortable situation for Pierce Matthews with Ramsey being on first. He's been there every time he's been up. Tapped it foul, 1 ball, 1 strike. It's the Trinity approach to hitting that they love to have. Talked about the power numbers, not really what you would expect to have them hit 3 home runs in the first 3 innings, but able to do that here, but also able to pass the baton a little bit. 11 hits, and that's what they really love to do. And when Coach Scannell will be happy with line drive after line drive up the middle. Stolen base attempt here for Ramsey. The throw in time, and that will end the inning, but not before the Tigers plate 9 runs. They have a 15-3 lead. It sends us to the 4th. You're watching Tiger Network. Welcome back to the campus of Trinity University. Tigers bouncing back from their series loss to Tufts in a big way, a 15-3 lead. Kyle Hoggett back on the mound, faces Spires, who gets a bunt down. Lustina tries to field it with the bare hand, makes the throw, but not in time. Goes down as a bunt single for Spires. That's about as good as you can do it. Perfect placement on this one. Lustina did everything right. Throws with the bare hand, accurate. In a reasonable amount of time. Baker with the stretch, just still not enough to get the speedy Spires. Brings up Chase Bourgeois, 0 for 2 today. Fouls one into the screen. Of course, his offer probably won't last. Over a 300 hitter on the year. Guy that the Tigers trust in their leadoff spot. As you see the play at first, not as close as the one with Baker. Looked to be the correct call, safe. The 0-1. Pitch misses. They appeal on the check swing, but Bourgeois didn't go around. TLU, a team that loves to bunt, is fortunate enough to do their series against McMurray. Had a game against the Warhawks where they bunted several times in a row. Just perfect placement down the third base line. Nothing anybody could do about them. Almost felt unfair. Pitch misses from Hoggett, a 2-1 hitter's count. Bulldogs, a team that can create offense in a myriad of ways. Just a lot of really polished hitters up and down the lineup. Spires runs, a hit and run called. Throw from Moss, in, and they get him. Thomas Moss guns down another runner this season. Spires able to get a nice lead. Didn't look like Moss was going to be able to get him, but the throw down, perfect. So one down in the inning, the base runner erased, still a 2-1 pitch. Slider misses, 3-1 to Bourgeois. Remember when Thomas Moss gunned down his first runner of the season? I believe it was the first weekend of the year. Was so thrilled when he did it because you see this guy in practice and you see the arm he has. Never got time at catcher before this year, but you knew he could do it. Foul tip into the mitt. And that is strike 3. So Bourgeois goes down on strikes, 2 away. Brings up Michael Barrera, 0 for 2 today. A fly out and a ground out. Still over a 300 hitter on the year despite his 0 for 2 average in this game. Line the other way, and there's a single. Able to get it into right field in front of Pierce Matthews. 2-out knock for the Bulldogs. But going back to Thomas Moss, talk about the arm strength that he has. One of the first things I noticed about him, we see him playing catcher in practice and just waiting for that opportunity to show everybody what he could do. Braden Sprenzel up to the plate and has reached both times today. Singled the last time he was up, 1 for 2 overall. Reached on an error in his other plate appearance, takes ball 1. It's like when you brag to your friends about a favorite restaurant that you have and you say, this place is so under the radar and it's so good. That's how I felt when Thomas Moss threw out that runner at second, because I'd been raving about his arm. He'd seen it for a couple years. Sprenzel hits this one high and deep to left field. Not deep enough, though. Backs up Susho a little bit to the warning track, and it ends the inning. So Hoggett able to throw a scoreless 4th, sends us to the bottom of the frame. Trinity with a sizable 15-3 advantage. Welcome back to the campus of Trinity University. We've seen the last bit of sunlight on the field. Going to be all lights from here on out as Pierce Matthews leads off the frame and sends a high fly ball to deep left field. Back at the wall and going all the way to the wall to make the catch is Barrera. Right in front of it. That's as far back as I've seen a left fielder go to make a catch, but he does it for out number one. A deep fly out to left for Matthews. Sets up Calcone with one down and nobody on. Good thing there's nobody on for Coney because he's done damage when there have been guys on. 2 3-run home runs today. Goes around at the first pitch for strike one. Coney with 2 of the 3 home runs that Trinity has hit today. All of them 3-run shots. Big reason why they're up 15-3. Takes a pitch outside. Evens the count at 1-1. Fouled into the screen. Finds himself in a 2-strike count. See if he goes 3 for 3 with 3 home runs. I think 2 for 2 with 2 home runs was unexpected enough. We'll see if he can one-up himself. That's high, evens the count, 2-2. At least according to my count. Scoreboard and the graphic disagrees. See who's right. Should be 2-2. Fouled into the screen, and it will remain that way. Tigers really bouncing back in a big way. So disappointed with their effort over the most recent 2 games. Ran into Coach Scannell after the Game 3 loss, 10-2. This one tapped foul, and we'll do it again. Seemed as calm as ever. Perfect baseball coach. Not getting too high or too low. Just an understanding that he knows that his team is going to figure it out eventually, and it seems like they have today. Coney takes a pitch, and I was right. It was a 2-ball count. Now 3-2. One down, nobody on. Breaking ball finds the zone, strike 3, and Coney goes down looking. So Prado able to get the first 2 guys he sees in the inning. Maybe a little inside, but 2 strikes. Flips the lineup over, Thomas Moss. He's reached all 3 times today. He's walked twice. He's also doubled. 294 hitter on the year. Takes a strike. He's scored 1 run so far this season, and that was in this inning. Brought around by Sawyer Haynes, or excuse me, not the inning, in this game, in the first inning. Scored by way of the Sawyer Haynes 3-run shot. Takes a ball there. Pitch misses low. TLU trying to go for their first 1-2-3 inning of the game. First inning with a 0 as well. Tigers have scored at least 3 runs in every inning so far. Moss able to take that pitch. Ahead 3-1. Ropes one into center field, a base hit. Second hit of the day for Thomas Moss. He has reached all 4 times today. And now it's Callan Singhanya's turn. Singhania, one of 2 Tigers today that has been held hitless so far. currently 0 for 2. He's walked the last time he's been up. All 9 Tigers have reached base in this game. Singhania takes a strike. Working with Moss on first. 2 down. 0-2. Popped up, sky high. This may be playable. And it's not. Lands on the wrong side of the screen. So Singhania staying alive, down 0-2. It's one thing I'm sure the Tigers would love, not to see a consistency drop in their at-bats despite the big lead. Fouls it into the screen, regardless of the score. I know Coach Scannell wants his guys to keep fighting, hanging in there. Offense in baseball seems to be something that carries over from one game to the next. Want to finish strong in this game. Help you start strong in the next game. Singhania takes strike 3 as he's rung up. 2 strikeouts looking for Prado in that inning, and it results in a scoreless 4th. Takes us to the 5th, and San Antonio Tigers up 15-3. Welcome back to the campus of Trinity University. The sun has almost fully gone down. The lights beginning to take full effect on this Tuesday night game. Adam Peavy will lead things off for the Bulldogs. Peavy 0 for 1 today, has been hit by a pitch as well. The only time he's reached so far. Trinity's kept him in check for the most part. Kyle Hoggett back on the mound. Misses with ball 1. See the average on the screen for Peavy, one of the best you can imagine at this point in Division III baseball. Takes a strike. Certainly the best on his own team that has 2 400 hitters that qualify. Caleb Small and himself. Pitch in the dirt from Hoggett, 2-1. Of the qualified hitters, all of them but 1 for TLU, hitting over 300. 9 total qualified hitters that have started at least 13 games for the team. As Peavy rips this one over the head of Ramsey and into center field for a base hit. Knew he was going to get one eventually. It comes in the 5th inning with nobody out. Leadoff man aboard for TLU. Brings up Cole Cravens, who's 2 for 2 today. Both of Craven's hits so far today, singles. Has 23 runs batted in so far this year, trying to add another one. Cuts and misses at the first pitch, big swing. Wind blowing as it usually does in San Antonio from left to right. That being from from right to left. That being from right field out to left field. It's the best way to get a hold of a baseball, as we've seen the home runs that Trinity's hit, all of them out to left field today. Not that those home runs necessarily needed the wind. Coney definitely getting into both of his. Pitch misses low to Cravens. Talk about this TLU offense and where they rank nationally in some important categories. 3rd in the country in doubles on the year, 4th in the country in hits. They have 223 hits coming into this game on the season. Here's a chopper, could be 2. Throw to second in time for 1. On to first, and it's good for a double play. 5-4-3 on the twin killing. And there's 2 down in the inning. See the double play forced by Hoggett. Lustina able to handle that high chopper. And it was around the horn from there. Now Cooper Jen up to the plate. Reached both times he's been up despite being 0 for 1. Reached on a fielder's choice. He's also walked. 1 ball, no strikes. It's a TLU offense that's also 12th in the country in runs. Swing and a miss from Jen. Team that scored 177 runs this season. So far, breezing their way through SCAC play. A team that failed to make the tournament last year was the 5th team in the 4-team race. Did he go around? They appeal, and yes, Jen did go. Strike 2. See how close it was, and yep, looked like a go. Really nice sky in San Antonio right now. You'll be able to see it at the break. Pitch misses. Got that soft blue in the air. Wisps of orange clouds. Bell Tower in the distance. The Murchison Tower, official name for it. Really good sunsets in Texas. Jen went around that time, strikes out. Throw to first to finish the inning is good. As Hoggett throws a scoreless 5th. Halfway through this one in San Antonio, Tigers with a 12-run lead. Welcome back to the campus of Trinity University as Will Baker leads off the fifth inning for the Tigers, who find themselves up by 12. Baker 1 for 3 today, a .351 hitter on the air with 12 runs batted in. His one hit, a single that came in the first, would come around to score. Cuts and misses at that pitch. He's down 0-2. Other action happening in Trinity sports on campus. Just behind me, the Trinity softball field. The Tigers currently lead number 18th ranked Tufts 5-1 in game 2. Baker takes a pitch low and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Tigers falling in game 1 of that series 4-0. Taking their 4th loss of the year. 10-4-1 right now. Baker gets into this one, sends it to right, but Small able to make the catch. Bulldogs and Prado quickly getting out number 1. Prado remaining on the mound for TLU after working a scoreless 4th. Michael Lustina steps up to the batter's box. Double the last time he was up. 1 for 3 overall. Gets out of the way of an inside pitch, 1-0. Trinity softball getting all 5 of those runs in the first 2 innings. Still the bottom of the second in that game. Prado misses with that last pitch. 2 balls, no strikes to Lustina. Of course, TLU knows a thing or two about softball. One of the best softball teams in the country year in and year out. Strike called, 2-1. Pitch from Prado, misses inside. Lustina maybe thinking about working his first walk of the game. And does. Takes ball 4 outside. Goes down as a 1-out walk for Michael Lustina, and it brings up Sawyer Haynes, who's done some damage today. 2 for 2. He's reached all 3 times he's been up. The 3-run homer in the first inning, the hit by pitch in the third, also a base hit in the third as he came up to the plate twice. 12 total plate appearances in that inning that scored 9 runs. Strike called. Sawyer Haynes, part of this large sophomore class for Trinity, a freshman class last year that they were really excited about, helped them get to the College World Series. Getting to that point for the 4th time in 10 years as a program. Coaching staff for Trinity, particularly Coach Tim Scannell, saying that it's one of the best recruiting classes they've ever had, and as these guys continue to mature, they're finding more places in the lineup, and that's what's happening with Haynes right now. Ball in the dirt. Craven's able to block it. Prevent any advancement from Lustina. Ball inside, 3-1. Prado in danger of walking back-to-back batters. The 3-1. In the dirt, ball 4. And Haynes works the walk, back-to-back walks handed out by Prado. Brings up Anthony Susha, base hit the last time he was up, 1 for 3 overall. And that will promote a visit from head coach Kyle Palmer. Back-to-back walks handed out by Prado. Getting a fist bump from his catcher, a good indication that his day is done. New pitcher coming in for TLU when we come back, 15-3, Trinity still with the lead. Back in San Antonio, Texas, new arm on the mound is Caden Salamanca, making his first appearance of the year. Faces Anthony Susha, who swings at the first pitch and fouls it off. Salamanca comes into this game with runners on first and second, one down in the fifth inning. Tigers coming off of their only scoreless frame so far, trying to keep it their only scoreless frame as they work in the fifth. This throw gets into center field, and Lustina will take third. They tried the pickoff attempt at second, and it went wrong. Throw going into center field. Lustina taking an extra 90. So now runners at the corners for Susha, and maybe a sacrifice fly possibility. Susha 1 for 3. 273 hitter overall. Done some good things when he's gotten into the lineup. And he rips one into right field that gets down for a base hit. Lustina easily scores from third, and it's the 16th Trinity run of the game. RBI single for Anthony Susha. So Susha now on first base. See his base hit again, able to nicely put it into right field, opposite field knock. 13th hit of the game for Trinity. And Haynes able to go first to third on it, so runners still at the corners for Trinity. And John Ramsey, who's 3 for 3 today, is up to the plate. Takes ball one. Ramsey 3 hits in his 3 plate appearances, all of them singles. Takes a strike. Things have not gone very well for TLU, particularly when Trinity has had 2 runners on, as the Tigers have hit 3 3-run homers today. Ball in the dirt. Craven's able to keep it in front of him. Stops Haynes from scoring from third. Still a 2-1 hitter's count to Ramsey. Another part of the sophomore class. So many of these sophomores on this team. To the point where last year is basically a completely new team. Ramsey takes a strike, evens the count 2-2. Was a team that had gotten knocked out in the regionals by Laverne the year before, and you show up the next year and it's basically an entirely new group. Half of the players were new. 31 of the 61 rostered players were not on the team the year before. This year, a little bit more consistency. Pitch in the dirt. Craven's able to mostly keep it in front of him, but it allows Susha to take second. Stops the run from scoring, though. Runners on second and third. Count runs full on Ramsey with 1 down. Three-two pitch. Runners on second and third. Swing and a miss. Ramsey down on strikes. First strikeout of the year for Salamanca. Brings up Pierce Matthews with 2 down and 2 runners in scoring position. He does have 2 walks today, hitless so far in this game, though. First pitch to him, finds his own, strike called. Going back to the original point, this year 15 of the 53 rostered players new, so much lower percentage than over half of them. Matthews grounds this one to third. Sprenzel able to field it, make the throw, and the pick from Peavy will end the inning. So TLU leaves 2 runners stranded, but does surrender a run. Trinity extends their lead. 16-3 takes us to the 6th on Tiger Network. Welcome back to the campus of Trinity University. Tigers with 16 runs. They have the 16-3 lead. Kyle Hoggett still on the mound as he fires strike one. Hoggett going against Hall, the designated hitter today. He's reached both times he's been up. A bright spot for TLU offensively so far. Hall trying to work his way into a talented lineup. Takes a strike. And you see the case he's making over a 400 average. 452 to be exact. Tough to crack your way into a lineup like this, but making a good statement. Pitch just misses. Hall down 1-2 now. Nobody on, nobody out. The 1-2 from Hoggett. In the dirt, gets away from Moss for a second, but nobody on to take advantage of it. And it's Coach Scannell who runs out to get the baseball. Tigers head coach Tim Scannell rocking the same light blue sweater vest he was wearing yesterday. Didn't go so well for the Tigers yesterday, a little bit better today. Just a little bit. Hoggett finds the zone, strike three called. Gets the leadoff man by way of the K. Back-to-back strikeouts for Hoggett. As now he'll face Caleb Small. Another guy who's hitting over 400 on the year, at least was coming into this game, 0 for 2 today. Last time he was up, probably deserved to hit a line out to Sawyer Haynes at second. He was really doing it all today. Fouled off the end of the bat, 0-1. Haynes obviously with the 3-run homer in the first inning. Able to make the play at second base to rob Small of the base hit. Diving catch to get that out. And then there was the play headed home from third base, was in a rundown, dodged the tag, and was able to score. Pitch misses up, 1-1. See the Trinity coaching staff. That's the brain trust on your screen. Dave Smith right in front. Pitch misses from Hoggett, evens the count, 1 ball, 1 strike. Those are the guys who have had to figure out how to get this train going back on the right tracks. Going a little off the rails there for a little bit, but seems to be going smoothly now. Small ahead of this one. Evens the count at 2-2. Just to recap Trinity's season for those of you who haven't been tuning in recently. Tigers started the year with a bang, a 3-1 series victory in 4 games against the defending national champions, Wisconsin Whitewater, who was ranked #1 in the country at the time. Dropped game 1, won the next 3. Hoggett misses with that pitch, count runs full. Including a walk-off victory in game 4, base hit for Matthias Ridding to end that one. Series victory against Babson, midweek loss against Texas Lutheran, and this is where things really started to go south for Trinity. Didn't really love the way they played against Babson despite how they won that series. Fouled off by Small. We'll do it again at 3-2. Still were able to take 2 of 3, but then the loss to TLU, pretty uncharacteristic. And then the series loss to Kane, excuse me. Dropped game 1, won game 2 with Caleb Woodward back in the lineup, and then an 8-3 loss in a game that was tied late, just couldn't pitch it at the end. The win from Muhlenberg, and then the loss to Tufts, which is really where the alarm bells were going off. This ball barely leaks foul, stayed fair for a second maybe. As Hoggett and Small continue to battle. Didn't love the way they played in the 6-5 walk-off win in game 1. Michael Lustina getting the base hit to bring in the winning run there. And then it really showed in the next 2 games, a 24-9 loss and the 10-2 loss yesterday. That's how they get to a record of 8-7. Pretty unexpected and a little underwhelming for a team that went to the College World Series last year. Hoggett misses ball 4. 1-out walk handed out to Caleb Small, who's aboard for the first time today. Brings up Aiden Spires, over a 300 hitter on the year, a base hit the last time he was up. But you look up today for Trinity, and all of a sudden it's 16-3. Seem to have rebounded quite nicely. Hoggett misses with ball one. Beating up TLU, who they've played for a number of years in the SCAC, but not just any TLU team, a TLU team that came into this game rolling at 16-3, ranked as the number 11 team in the country, ahead of Trinity at 16. Strike called, 1-1. There is some action in the Trinity bullpen, so we'll see how long the leash is for Kyle Hoggett. Jack Boussard warming up. Fouled back into the screen, 1-2. So maybe preparing to replace Hoggett, the right-hander with the left-hander, Boussard. Hoggett, I'm sure, would love to finish this inning. Throw back-to-back scoreless frames. Runner on the go, and they get him in a rundown. Trying to dive at second, and he's safe. So Caleb Small gets caught in the rundown and able to get his hand in on the base before the tag's applied. Maybe the throw just a little bit too soft. Ramsey just couldn't apply the tag in time. So now a runner in scoring position for TLU. Seen a couple of dodge tags today, one on either side. The 1-2 to Spires. Breaking ball is chopped to short. Ramsey makes the throw in time for out number 2. Small advances to third with 2 down. That'll flip the lineup over. Chase Bourgeois coming up to the plate. Bourgeois 0 for 3 today. Struck out the last time he was out. He's also flown out and grounded out. Hat trick of sorts. Not the dreaded one, which is 3 strikeouts. Opportunity to drive in a run. It's a ground ball. 2 hops to Ramsey. Steps and throws in time, and that ends the inning. Another scoreless frame thrown by Kyle Hoggett. Takes us to the bottom of the 6th in San Antonio. Tigers with a 16-3 lead. Welcome back to the Alamo City, where the sun has fully set. Tigers up 16-3 in the bottom of the 6th. And Calcone leading things off. Takes ball 1. Coney with 2 home runs today. Those coming in his first 2 plate appearances. Takes a strike there. Coney struck out looking the last time he was up. 2 for 3 overall. Last pitch misses. Coney, believe it or not, made an effort to get a little slimmer this offseason. You just notice him walking around, and you can tell he's a little less bulky than he was, a little more agile. Hasn't been starting at second base recently, but usually plays out there, and wanted to be able to get to more balls. Of course, you wouldn't know that based on his day-to-day. Able to hit 2 moonshots. Definitely left plenty of muscle on. Called strike 2. Count now 3-2 to Coney. Outside ball 4, and he's aboard for the 3rd time today. So Coney aboard, the designated hitter, and it'll flip the lineup over. And speaking of being aboard, it's Thomas Moss coming up to the plate. He's been aboard 4 times today. 2 hits, 2 walks. Playing at catcher today. Takes a strike. Moss, who's made an impact with the bat and also with his arm, has thrown out a runner today as well, on top of reaching base 4 times. Fouls this one out of play. Onto the roof. 1, 2, 3. Only 3. Took a weird skip. Mentioned this in the past. I was not too familiar with the architecture of roofs before I started calling games up here. And the roof isn't flat. There's a lot of slopes on it, kind of up and down, subtle hills. So if the ball hits it at the wrong angle, it doesn't really hop as much. This is chopped very short in the infield grass, and no play is able to be made. That's a defensive substitution. Matthew Elizondo in at third base. And just nothing he could do about that one. Gets to this one on the infield grass, just slips under his glove. Probably wouldn't have been able to throw out Moss anyways. Goes down as another hit for Trinity, as Moss has reached 5 times now today. This is hit into the screen by Callan Singhania, who's up for the 5th time himself. Reached by way of a walk. One of 2 Tigers in the starting lineup that's been held hitless so far. Him and Pierce Matthews, the only ones in that club. Big cut and a miss. Runners on first and second. Nobody out, the first 2 reaching in this inning. Coney by way of a walk. Moss by way of an infield single. Swing and a miss, and that's strike 3. As Singhania strikes out for the 3rd time today, it's out number 1 in the inning. So 1 down in the 6th. Will Baker coming up to the plate. 1 hit today. 1 for 4 overall. OPS over 900 on this season. Getting to that time of the year where the numbers this season really start to matter, because we talked about the staggered schedules. When you start early, it's tough to tell some of these national rankings, you know, how much they mean. You have teams that have played like 2 games up north just because they get canceled or rained out, or they just haven't scheduled them because they know it's going to be cold. And you have teams here like TLU who start right out of the jump. Pitch inside somehow doesn't hit Baker. He's ahead 2-0. But now these national rankings actually start to mean something, and both of these teams can kind of find their pecking order in respective categories. Baker ahead 2-0. And that's when you start to notice the RBI totals being a little low for Trinity, especially a teams down south who's played a couple more games. Baker, who leads this team in RBI, only has 12. Pitch high, and that is a 4-pitch walk. Handed out by Salamanca. Bases now loaded with 1 down in the inning. It's been a Tigers offense that has been sputtering all year. Talk about some important numbers for Trinity. You look at where they rank nationally in some of these categories. At least this is coming into the weekend. We're 161st in batting average, 154th in on base percentage, and 206th in scoring. Not where they want to be, but definitely helping their case with some of these today. New arm on the mound for Texas Lutheran, it looks like. Pitching change when we come back. Bottom of the 6th, Tigers up 16-3.
Batting for your Trinity Tigers, third baseman number 5, Michael Justina.
Welcome back to San Antonio. New arm on the mound is Carter Conroy. Has yet to give up a run this year. Has not pitched an inning, though. Comes in with the bases loaded and 1 down, and will face Michael Justina. Justina has doubled and walked in this game, 1 for 3 overall. Takes strike 1. One down, bases loaded. Pitch misses inside. Count even, 1-1. Lustino waves at that pitch, 1-2. Host of defensive substitutions for TLU. In fact, all of the defensive substitutions. All 9 defenders have been replaced. Alfaro takes over in left. Flores in center, helping still in right. Elizondo over at third. Lustina hits a fly ball out of play. Hits the light structure, actually, and foul. Thankfully, no bulb popped. In the infield, it's Elizondo at third. Vinton at short, with Stringer at second and Oaxaca at first. And then Botello taking over as the catcher. Lustina out in front of that. It remains 1-2. And then obviously Conroy taking over on the mound. So Coach Palmer obviously not happy with what his starters were doing and decides that he's going to do the hockey line change. Everybody out. Swing and a miss from Lustina. He's gone on strikes. Second strikeout of this inning for TLU pitching. The first for Conroy.
Second baseman number 42.
And it looks like this will bring a pinch hitter out for Trinity. So Coach Scannell starting to empty the bench as well. Caden Williams comes up to bat for the first time today. Another part of this sophomore class getting his first crack at action this season. Takes a strike. Quite the scenario for your first at bat to come with the bases loaded, but that's what Williams is dealing with. Takes a ball. Williams replacing Haynes, whose day is done. 1-0. Fouled off. That'll actually make the count 1-2, it looks like. Bases still loaded. The 1-2. Conroy delivers as Williams hits this one high and foul, drifting out of play, and it is. Tigers have had 30 at-bats so far in this game. 13 for 30. Hitting at a .430 clip so far in this one, with 16 runs on the board. Happy dugout right there. Cheering on Caden Williams, down 1-2. High evens the count, 2-2. Two-two pitch, 2 down in the inning, 2 runners on, or 3. Swing and a miss, that's strike 3. Foul tip into the catcher's mitt ends the inning as Trinity leaves the bases loaded. Don't score into the 6th, sends us to the back third of this game, to the 7th in San Antonio.
Taking it down for your Trinity Tigers, the junior from Reisterstown, Maryland. Left-handed pitcher number 18, Jack Broussard. Defensively for your Tigers, number 29, Caden Williams, enters to play second.
Welcome back to the campus of Trinity University. New arm on the mound is Jack Broussard. ERA just over 1. 1-1 record on the year, just over 12 innings pitched. The whip below 1. And fires a strike. Boussard coming off of a game against Tufts where he retired 9 consecutive batters. Now gets some action here against TLU with a sizable lead. 1 ball, 1 strike. Batter is Noah Vinton. Looking for his first hit of the year. Went around 1-2. One of the 9 substitutions that Coach Palmer decided to make in 1 inning. Ball in the dirt. Count even at 2-2. Vinton replacing Barrera's spot in the order. His day is done. Ended with a base hit, 1 for 3. Boussard's pitch just misses. Count runs full. So the TLU bench getting an opportunity to play in this one. Not a bench that sees a lot of action. Here's a chopper sent to Ramsey. Throw to first is in time. If they do see action, it's usually late in games like this. Their starting 9 usually starts these games. Have 9 batters who have started at least 13 games. Brings up Matthew Elizondo, who's actually one of those regular starters. Making his 16th appearance. He's made 13 starts this year, usually at third base. Takes a strike. That's where he checks in tonight's game at. Hitting at a 271 clip on the year. Takes a pitch low to even the count at 1-1. Elizondo taking Sprenzel's spot in the lineup. Sprenzel overall reached twice. Doubled in the third. Now Elizondo takes over for him. Cuts and misses. Count even 2-2. 1 defensive change for Trinity is Williams taking over at second base. Everybody else remains in there despite being up 13. Boussard finds the zone for strike 3. First strikeout of his outing, and there's 2 away. So now he'll face Felipe Oaxaca. Takes ball 1. Oaxaca in his 4th game of the year. No hits so far this season. Pitch misses low, 2-0. And there's the defensive change right there. Pitch fouled off into the TLU bullpen. Goes down as a long strike. Two-1. Ground ball. Baker able to scoop it up and run it to the bag for out number 3. A 1-2-3 inning for Jack Boussard. Time to stretch in San Antonio, headed to the bottom of the 7th. And we're back on Tiger Network. It looks like that will be the game. Not usually a run rule in non-conference play, but it looks like Trinity and TLU have agreed to call this one with the Tigers up 16-3. So Trinity snaps its 2-game losing streak in resounding fashion as we call this one early. Tigers win 16-3. They out-hit TLU 13-7. Winning pitcher for Trinity is Kyle Hoggett. Pitched a scoreless 4th and a scoreless 5th. You see some of the highlights from today. Trinity's day highlighted by power early. 3 3-run home runs in the first 3 innings of this game. They had a 10 spot on the board before TLU even knew what was happening. It's Hughes for TLU who takes the loss. He pitches 2 1/3 innings. Gives up a lot of those 16 runs as the Bulldogs take their 4th loss of the year. That'll do it for us here on Tiger Network. Unexpectedly, this game cut short. I'd like to thank everybody who helped to work on this broadcast. Ariel Monson working on camera. A lot of people volunteering in the control room today, all overseen by our executive producer, Josh Muchagemba, who puts it all together. For all those people, I'm Cole Isaacson, signing off from San Antonio. We hope to see you this weekend when Trinity begins conference play against Millsaps.